Ahead on DC News Now, a Virginia Amber Alert ends with a baby dead and her two siblings hospitalized. What we know about a chaotic morning chase through a busy highway. Also, a historic day for Democrats as President Joe Biden and presidential nominee Kamala Harris make their first joint campaign stop together in Maryland. We're live in Largo.
After an extremely quiet week, rainfall is returning to the DMV. We'll time out when we can see some soggy weather on Friday.
It's a DC tradition that never gets old.
It's all about coming together, meeting your neighbors.
How an event in Southwest works to unite the community every year.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall. Annalisa Gale will join us later this evening. We begin with a developing story. A 1-year-old girl is dead and her siblings under the age of 7 are hurt following a crash in Prince George's County. It stemmed from an Amber Alert out of Virginia Beach. Police believe that a man stabbed an adult and a child and took off with his kids, ages 1, 5, and 7. The suspect's car was spotted in our area this morning and ended up crashing on the Beltway in the Camp Springs area. The suspect, identified as Dana Plummer, was arrested. All 3 children were rushed to the hospital. Sadly, the 1-year-old did not survive. And continuing coverage out of D.C. now, where the fate of a former Parks employee who shot and killed a 13-year-old boy in Northeast last year is now in the hands of 12 jurors. Closing arguments wrapped up late this afternoon, and DC News Now's Max Marcella joins us live outside of the D.C. courthouse. And Max, what were the final messages that each side left with the jury?
This afternoon, there was surveillance video and audio played as part of those closing arguments. The final message left with jurors was for them to weigh whether it was self-defense or murder for why a D.C. government employee shot and killed a 13-year-old back in January of 2023 in Northeast. So here's what happened in closing arguments. The defense, which took about 90 minutes, said that Lewis felt threatened, that former government employee, and that he went outside of his home because he heard the sounds of people breaking into cars. Then the defense attorney said Lewis saw a light and heard a noise, and he perceived that to be a gunshot. So he fired once at a car in an alley. Lewis himself testified yesterday saying that he thought the driver of that car fired at him first. Then Lewis fired a second and a third shot when 13-year-old Karan Blake came running his way. Those shots killed him. Prosecutors, on the other hand, they said Blake running was a natural reaction, a fearful reaction to that first gunshot that Lewis fired. And prosecutors said Lewis himself was the first aggressor. They say Blake shouldn't have been breaking into cars, but that he didn't deserve to die. They also once again played audio of Blake's final words in which he said, "I'm sorry," 5 times, and then said, "No, no, no, I'm only a kid, I'm only 12. They argue Lewis didn't wait to see a gun before he lifted his weapon up, and he left his home where he was safe in order to go outside. So the judge instructed the jury. The jury is back inside the court deliberating right now. If they don't come up with a verdict by about 4:45, they'll be dismissed and sent home for the day, where this case will continue tomorrow. Again, the main question right now, was it self-defense or was it second-degree murder? That's the main charge that Lewis is facing. Reporting live outside D.C. Superior Court, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. This just in. The Virginia Department of Education has released its draft guidance on cell phone restrictions in schools. Governor Glenn Youngkin issued an executive order last month. The draft guidance calls for school districts to ban students from using cell phones from the first bell until dismissal. The guidelines differ slightly for elementary school, middle school students and high school students. Well, the next step is to collect feedback from families through an online survey. The goal is to have a school cell policy ready to go by January 1st. Well, we're your local election headquarters, and today President and Vice President making their way to Largo, Maryland with an announcement of a new deal to help combat drug cost, and rising inflation. Well, this comes at a critical time as the 2024 election grows closer by the day. DC News Now's Rainey Bass was there in Prince George's County to hear all that was said.
In front of an excited crowd in Largo, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris announcing a new deal to drop the price of 10 prescription drugs for Medicare users.
No senior should have to choose between either filling their prescription or paying their rent.
Today's announcement coming as rising costs of inflation are top of mind for voters.
It's a fight that we have to continue.
The president and VP hitting the campaign trail together for the first time since Biden backed down from the nomination, handing Harris the reins.
I could speak all afternoon about the person that I am standing on this stage with.
Harris today keeping her remarks short. Biden spending part of his time on stage today stumping for Harris.
She's going to make one hell of a president.
Today's crowd largely made up of Black Maryland voters excited to see Harris.
It's wonderful for our young ladies and young men to see someone that looks like them, you know, in politics doing really positive things.
And that was Randy Bass reporting. Former President and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump will deliver a news conference this afternoon in Bedminster, New Jersey. Meanwhile, vice presidential candidates J.D. Vance and Tim Walz have agreed to debate each other on October 1st. Taking a live look outside in hazy conditions in Montgomery County, likely stemming from a wildfire smoke in Canada. This is over a neighborhood in Durwood. And joining us now, meteorologist Damon Matson with a check on the forecast. Damon, no concern about air quality?
Well, we're seeing a little dip, actually, Mark, as we go here into the evening. Not enough to prompt an air quality alert, but we are noticing the air quality being impacted now for our second day in a row of dealing with this haze into the afternoon and evening. I have circled right here where those fires are at, up into portions of Canada. And following along the red line here, the weather pattern has kept winds coming out of the west in Canada, then dropping down from the north into parts of the northeast, and yes, here in the DMV and the mid-Atlantic. So the fires are well away from us, but the current weather pattern has pushed that smoke and haze our direction. That's what some of this darker gray on the map indicates here, is that leftover fire, smoke, and haze. And here's that air quality as we drop down closer to the DMV. Again, with our legend here, this is not a large drop in air quality. The lighter yellows, darker yellows just go to show that the air quality is not totally perfect out there, but it's not to a dangerous enough level that it prompts an air quality alert. And we'll continue, though, to see those hazy skies, unfortunately, as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Now, at the same time, clouds are also going to start to pop up as we go later on into the overnight hours, and this cloud cover is a sign of our next rainmaker that is going to start to move into the area tomorrow. Now, we'll talk about who is going to possibly see some wet weather on Friday and who will eventually see those showers and storms come this weekend. That answer is coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Happening tomorrow, a Maryland teenager who pleaded guilty to attempted murder could learn his fate. 17-year-old Caden Holland, also known as Baby K, is accused of trying to kill a teenager aboard a school bus last May. He's being charged as an adult. His sentencing hearing scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. Stay with DC News Now for updates. Well, we now know the name of an Alexandria man who died in a police shooting Monday night. According to the city's police department, an officer shot and killed Paul Bahan Jr. while responding to a welfare check at his home. Police say that Bahan was holding a gun and refused to drop it. They say that the officer fired the shot in response to a threatening action. That police officer who killed him is on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Well, Fairfax County Police are asking for the public's help in locating the remaining members of an organized retail theft group. Police say that they stole over $60,000 in Chanel products last year. Investigators tracked the group to stealing high-end items in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. The driver of the group, who police identified as Ontrell Cunningham, was arrested in Pennsylvania. Well, right now, police are looking for the other suspects, including Martina Lyons and Abdullah Robinson. Fairfax Deputy Chief Gregory Freed spoke about the group's MO when stealing from retail stores.
Crew's MO is to bring a fire extinguisher with them, and they discharge the fire extinguisher the moment that they encounter loss prevention personnel. Then they come into the store, the establishment, and they steal the merchandise, and they're out. And in this case, they were out with under 15 seconds.
Well, police are asking anyone with information on their whereabouts to reach out via their crime line. All right, exciting news here in the district. The National Park Service broke ground for the rehabilitation of the Tidal Basin seawall. They say that the project has been a long time coming, and parts of the seawall will have been weathered and over the years have become hazardous for those that visit the Tidal Basin. The director for the National Park Service, Chuck Sam, says that despite efforts to keep up with the maintenance of the seawall, a long-term fix needed to happen.
I'm very thankful for our efforts through the years, through stabilization projects, sidewalk realignment, regrading, and concrete reinforcements to keep up with the problem. However, a necessary long-term solution was out of reach until Congress enacted the Great American Outdoors Act in 2020.
Well, the whole project will cost about $113 million and should be completed by May of 2026. In Western Maryland, the city of Hagerstown had an early send-off to summer today with a community fair downtown. DC News Now's Stephen Cohen has more on all the fun.
There's a lot of fun going on at this community fair, but organizers of the event have big plans for the city.
Organized by the Hagerstown Housing Authority, city officials are building connections in the community with their annual community fair. Brandon Grooms found it to be a fun way to wind down the summer season.
The atmosphere, the inspiration with everybody is remarkable.
People explored dozens of community partner tables from local organizations to nonprofits and more.
To make neighborhoods use of public space, how to make neighborhoods more fun, especially the children, giving us ideas related to amenities like playground equipment.
Fairgoer Diane Douglas says this isn't an ordinary weekday afternoon experience.
The free prizes, the nice people, and it's gorgeous weather today.
Reporting from Hagerstown, Stephen Cohen, DC News Now.